Good morning, friends, and good afternoon to my friends from the Far East and Down Under. Thank you very much for joining this session of 45 Possible. This is a showcase event where one of our technical experts develop an application in just 45 minutes. Just 45 minutes. My name is Pallav Talukdar and I've recently come on board at WEM APAC to manage functions like business development, strategic partnership, and communications. The main USP of WEM APAC, our key focus is really on business velocity. We believe that as we look at the world of digital transformation, there is a fundamental mismatch between the demand for new application and the supply of good coders. And that is why there is always a backlog of unbuilt applications and unfulfilled desires of end users, which is what precisely we are trying to address. And this is what I hope this session will share with all of you, because we will be able to demonstrate an ability to build an application really fast, right? And when we talk about building an application rapidly, it is building it with simplicity, but with no compromise whatsoever in terms of security and compliance. So we are talking about building enterprise grade applications. It is my great pleasure to now introduce John Waddle to all of you. John is a rugby coach and a network expert with more than 35 years of networking experience. I think he has really seen the industry evolve from the early days of X.25 and frame relays and FDDI and token rings to the new generations of ATM and Wi-Fi that we see today. So he comes from a networking background, and John got interested in the no-code and low-code platform quite recently. He has been associated with us since 2018. And in this relatively short period of time, he has become an absolute expert as far as no-code development is concerned. He is a leading trainer as well as a project manager. So that's also in some respect a reflection of how easy it is to adapt this new technology. The application that John is going to demonstrate to all of us is really about a ticket management system, which, as you will all agree, is a relatively common application with widespread usage across multiple industries, right? And of course, as you can well imagine, that some amount of background work has, of course, gone in terms of the ideation phase and in terms of the design phase. But what we will see is how easy it is to actually use the WEM platform to do the coding part. And that's where you see the speed and the acceleration possible. What I would like to share with you before I hand over to John is that we will have a question answer session at the end of the presentation, but we are absolutely delighted if you could also put in your questions in the chat box, and we will try and address them as we go along. Apart from that, to our Korean friends, I would like to address that please feel free to submit your questions in Korean language. I think we have the capability. And we can address them as we go along. So without any further ado, let me hand over to John Waddle. John, over to you, please.
Good afternoon, good evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. Let me quickly share my screen. So thank you for that introduction. I'm going to take you through a ticket management system today and show you how I develop some of the major areas of a ticket management system. As has been stated, there's been a lot of pre-work done, databases, ticketing creation, all of the basic pieces around some of the databases being done. The application tries to be customer focused and call/technical response center focused. And in that, the major areas that I'm going to do today, the two modules that I'm going to add in today, are a call management piece, as in a call center person, a technical person in a call center, taking a call or email or however the customer wants to contact you, and quickly finding the customer and being able to action their request. I'm then going to also develop a management dashboard. One of the biggest things in any call center and with any ticketing system is for management to have a good overview of what's going on within the number of tickets, on what's happening out there in their customers' land. And really, you want a decent dashboard that gets updated automatically as the data changes, and I'll show you all that as we go. So I'm going to go from here directly into my application development tool here, the WEM Modeler, and start in on this. I'm not going to keep describing things as I do them. If you have questions on why we were doing things or what we're doing, please put them in the chat. If Martin or any of the others are not able to answer, I will get back to whoever's put those in at the end of the session by the end of tomorrow and provide answers for you. So let me start with the core management system, which is part of the ticketing flow. So I have a flow chart ready to go, and I'm going to start working from here. Okay.
So ladies and gentlemen, this is very, very easy to do. If you see what John is doing, he's dragging and dropping icons from the left-hand side and bringing it on to the board. This is built on .NET architecture, and the platform is responsive. So that's the construct of the platform. And it's very easy. Now, what we're seeing is getting the icons in, and each icon has got a specific description. We have the current icon, which John has dragged in, it's called the subflow node, and you can start building in for each node. You can construct as you go. Also, some of the things which I would like to talk to my friends who want to build a mobile app. The same platform is used for building a mobile app. So there have been POCs where we have built a mobile app in 2 days, maximum 3 days. Very, very easy when we use this platform. That's it. Now what we're doing is we are actually building a process. Once we have the construct right, yes, absolutely. The WEM architecture is such that it can be hosted on Kubernetes, and this can be taken on other platforms as well, which are non-.NET platforms. Another thing about them is also the way we construct it. Now let me come back here. What John is doing, we are actually going into the interaction node, which is the eye, where it's circle, it's in the center, and we are actually building and constructing the call management form. Now it's so easy. On top are icons, and on the left hand side are your flowcharts. So now all John is going to do is working out what does he need. There you go. This is the expression editor. It's a brilliant piece here where you can actually build your algorithms very, very easily. Things like if this then that, or specific conditions can be built here. Very easy. All he had to do was drag it, open it up, and then he's going into the data model. In the data model, we have different constructs. You can pick up your fields from the data model and bring it into the expression. So here, John is building the conditional expression. Good to have you here, Cheno.
Yes, and I think this is incredible because this is where the whole front-end development connecting to the backend happens. And WEM is one place where you can do both front-end and backend development in one interface. The icon eye is what you use for all your front-end development. That's all you need. And also, like what Hers says, a place where you can do both web and mobile from one interface.
Also, Chenu, why don't we speak about the security aspect of this platform, because this is fully compliant with all security norms and standards on the public cloud. So we have, in any industry which is compliant and regulatory driven, we have all the security norms, all of them are applicable and possible, even in the public cloud.
That is right. And all of WEM's, there are 3 instances: development, staging, and production. All of them are secure right from the development stage. So we would say that we are right from DevSecOps, security right from the development space.
Yeah, coming back to the form, here's John building the form. All he has to do is drag and drop. Now he's dragged in the form, which he is inserted inside the heading. And there he picks up from the database. He's picked up the last name, and then we have the email ID. So it's very, very easy to build a form. All you need to do is drag and drop it onto the construct which you have done. Absolutely simple.
In fact, this is one of, like Harsh said, this is one of the big strengths of WEM, is that the whole workflow, the whole database design, the whole workflow is just drag and drop, and yeah, it's very, very quick.
And also we can import files here. We can import CSV files. We can import, if you want to, have a good looking UI UX template, we can do that. So this is where John has gone back to the expression editor, where he's putting, conditions for, things like the customer last name. If you want, you can put in conditions for mail ID. You can put in conditions for mobile. So, if there is a typo or an error which a user has typed in, they would immediately come to know where they will be flagged off.
Yeah, and you see that John is putting some validation there as well. If we want to put some checks around an email ID, we want to make sure that they're putting the right numbers, want to validate that it's a number, alphanumeric number, all those can be done with a click of a button.
So if you look at the screen, which is in front of you, if you go on to the top left-hand side, these are the 5 or 6 things which you need. You need a workflow, you need a database, you need places and applications which you would want to integrate. You want to consume information, you want to disseminate information. Everything is there on the top left-hand side, and below that is the sections where you can have different classifications coming up, like we have right now, which is opened as a data model, and all the fields which are pertaining to data model are opened up, so you can pick and choose, build them onto the expression editor. It's very simple. It's drag and drop. And the same thing you can do on the form itself. You can drag and drop, items from the data model.
Yeah, while we're there, Harsh, I want to highlight one feature. If you look at the top row, there's something called preview. And it's an incredible feature because you can see the state of your application. Anytime you want to know what you have done, just go to preview and you have a real-time view of how much you have progressed.
Yes, that's right. So, this is a complete application which is truly agile. So you can actually have a look at the preview. The QA, the test and development, and the staging environment is all together. So it's a truly agile platform. We have several other solutions on this space, but they have different portals. Here's one screen. And in one single screen, you can have the agility and build things at the same time, preview it. So this is a very good thing about the platform, channel. Oh, here's my favorite part, the button. You can easily drag and drop a button. You can color them. You can build in different icons. You can download icons and then bring it. Say, here's another button which John is bringing. And this is a conditional expression which he is keying in a condition. And this is incredibly fast.
Changing the colors, changing the look and feel of the button. And if you want to change the layout of this also, you can use your CSS skills to make it look the way you want it.
Yes, I remember one thing where we were trying to migrate an application with a client from us in Middle East where they did not have APIs. So we actually built APIs. So we have something which is called a widget where you can create the handshake systems, and you can build widgets to do a lot of things, even to.
Yeah. That's so true. And by default, all WEM applications have the industry standard APIs. So anyone can connect to a WEM application. You don't have to do anything. Once you build the application, you want to go to the documentation and you will get your SOAP the documentation for the API. Those are done by the platform. You don't have to do anything.
Yes, and it provides huge convenience for the developer. Usually what I've seen, Cheno, in WEM development, we require small teams. We require someone with a BA kind of an outlook and, one or two youngsters who can actually build this together. And this is pretty fast. Instead of having teams of 10 or 12, we can have teams of 3 or 4 and build it. That's another USP of WEM.
Yes. I think comparison, we once did a comparison where if you do a traditional development, you need a front-end developer, back-end developer, DevOps, data, Android, and an iOS developer. And that's 6 plus 1 or 2 extra. All these roles we have collapsed into one. And then you've got definitely the project management, BA, and all those skills. So in terms of resource requirement, we definitely reduce the requirements, which means the existing team can actually do much more, and also the existing team can do more roles within the development phases.
Yes, that's correct. And with this, what happens is you build in dispensability. So you have the workflow, so you know exactly what is connected where. It is very difficult when you look at a program, even the top-notch programmer finds it very difficult to look into somebody else's program and try to decipher what it is. Here, it's a simple workflow. I remember David talking to us about the scarcity of programmers in Korea. So this is so easy to build with anybody who has a BA kind of an overview and outlook. You can construct an application for yourself. As we speak, here's the form. It's already built. We've got a data grid. We've got buttons in here, and we've got the expression editor, which has given us different conditions. Here. If you look into the expression editor on the top right-hand side, we have something called functions. And there are about 12 to 16 functions here, starting from the security to email to text, huge number of functions which you can use to make your expression sharper.
Yes, and some of the challenges with low code or no code platforms are that they can't handle complex analysis or complex formulas, and in fact that is not the case with WEM. We have insurance companies where we are building the claims management, digital transformation for whole of the core applications, and that involves a lot of complex calculations. So with expressions editor, complex calculations can be built into your whole application.
Yes, that's correct. One of the things which I, vividly recollect, when I presented this to a CIO in India, is the wow factor when it comes to application modernization. Very, very nimble tool when you want to move and deploy or modernize applications. Very useful. What I'm seeing from you, Chanu, is you're typing as well and speaking here. That's amazing. I can never do it unless it's an evening time and I'm with some good company and bottles. That's good.
I'm excited with this. A lot of great questions. Martin and the team are doing very well. So thank you.
So this is the flexibility of the platform. You can build, expressions. Your own creativity is your limitation, and it's very easy if you know the process overview. Very, very easy to build this platform. Yeah, and this is complete no code. There's no code either which ways. All we have to understand is how the business works, and if you understand how the business or process works, you can build your own application. Is coding required? Yeah, I guess when it comes to integration or importing some files, maybe a couple of lines is required. But on the platform, it's truly a no-code platform.
And because of the workflow being drag and drop, one of the areas where we really see good impact on organizations is that the IT team can engage with business teams better, because finally the business teams can follow what the IT team is doing, and you can have a much more engagement with the business. So.
Yeah, my favorite part just went off. John whisked by building a new button before I could even open my mouth and say that, okay, here are the icons, and this is where you can take the icons. It's done. So it's very, very fast, and if all it takes is maybe a program to do it. One of the USPs of our platform is, Chanu, the development environment is free. So anybody from the participants or their organizations would want to try a hand. There is a basic course which is self-paced. You can do a basic course free. It's there on the platform. You can come in, you can join, and you can build your basic course. All you need to do is click on the button and say that you're interested.
Yes, yes. And for those in Korea, let David, you can put your names there and we'll be happy to create accounts for you and reach out to you. And if you are, one of the big questions, how long does it take to become an expert in WEM? And what we have seen is that we have a great 6 weeks training program so that it does not impact your schedule at work, and we can run all the beyond the basic, the other training courses, and by the time you should be in a position to build a medium level complex web application. So it's 6 weeks and you should be able to build 1 or 2 applications in that space.
Look at this. John is adding his buttons. Very, very easy. And you can do it once you get used to, even a week's training is good enough. 3 modules for WEM training. Overall course, approximately 6 weeks. When we say 6 weeks, 2 hours per day is what we're talking about, 5 days a week. And you can build your own applications. You can import icons. You can have the icons of your choice. There is ample flexibility for getting in, your creatives within the platform. You can take them as icons, or you want to do something cool. It's absolutely up to you. So this is not like those jaded, dull-looking applications. It's up to you how you want to build the user experience and interface.
Okay.
No creativity.
Just a quick update. So that's my core management flowchart and my core management UI completed. So that's one module completely done.
Awesome, John.
Moving on to the dashboard.
So this is a blank canvas, and you see that with that 14, 15 buttons on the on the left-hand side, you can build any complex application. And the buttons have been color-coded so that you can be faster in the way you build. And
it is so easy, Chanu, I come from a non coding background, but I could cobble up an application really fast when I got associated with WEM, with the expression editor. There's so much things you can do with this. And once you place the icons, you understand the flow, and then you start populating what goes into these icons, and then you connect them, and that's your application. Very, very simple, easy, and elegant way to do it. The objective is simplicity, and that's the way the new normal is. We need speed. You need simplicity. Sorry, Chanu, you're saying something?
100%. And one feature to highlight there is the orange button in the middle where you have comment messaging for real-time messaging. That would mean you can actually provide real-time updates to the dashboard.
Yeah. And this is so wonderful because we've seen so many enterprises which have disparate systems, but they want a single dashboard for their leadership to visualize, and WEM makes it so easy. So here we go again. We have gone into the user interface. This is the interface where user will actually see and get her or his experience, and you can build it very, very fast. You can have a grid layout, you can have a basic layout, and you can populate it with the data which you want.
There we go, another user interface. This is a screen that is being built at record pace.
Yeah, here you go. All you have to do is create tickets. So what John has done is dragged it from the sidebar onto the dashboard, onto the form. All you have to do is pick and choose and get it here. Another thing is Crs, change request. If after building this system, if there's a user or a stakeholder who wants to change something, it is so easy and convenient to change. All we have to do is change the process or add an item here, do a preview, check whether everything is working, and all the end user has to do is refresh the screen. Very, very easy. Building dashboards, building Crs, amazing piece of platform.
Yes.
Way convenient.
I think Crs is where you see a lot of value.
I see that coming a lot in banking space, banking and insurance space, where the Crs keep shifting. Sometimes even in manufacturing and telecom, there are old legacy systems, and we don't know how to deal with it. How to extract data? What do we do? It becomes an expensive proposition. This is an ideal way to go.
Yes. I see one questions around integration. So one of the biggest trends of WEM is integration. So it supports all industry standard APIs, so that a WEM application would have all the APIs, be it REST, SOAP, JSON. You've got all that. And then you can also both expose as well as consume. So what we have done is that we have built WEM in a way that it supports integration and eliminates the need to create code, test, or deploy custom client applications that consumes expose endpoint. So as you build your application, all those APIs are created by default.
There you go. We have completed the second row on the dashboard where we've got tickets opened, tickets closed, and this is a daily kind of a board or bulletin board where the number of opening tickets, tickets with no activity, and at the second row is the current status of the tickets, how many tickets open today. And here John is adding a bar chart. It's a brilliant way. You can actually add Google Maps. I've seen a demo which Des gave, which was for a telecom company, a telco, where we added even the Google Maps. So integration is easily possible. Wherever there is a connector, be it REST, JSON, very, very easy to integrate. Google Maps, bars, charts, very convenient.
Yes, and these charts are just the standard ones, but if you want really fancy 5D charts and things like that, you can put this in a widget, wrap it in a widget, and use it in your application. So any look and feel is possible. And especially, we see a lot of requirements for specialized graphs in the automotive space, and we are seeing a number of requirements for Kanban or dashboarding in the banking space and insurance space at the moment.
Coming back to this favorite box of mine, the expression editor, it is an amazing tool for insurance companies where they want to calculate or aggregate the median, the ideal customer profile or the ideal consumer profile. All these algorithms can be easily structured and programmed. So you know how far are you from the median, what is the preview of the last month's sale, current week's sale, who is our ideal customer, how close we are in the current campaign to the ideal customer. All these expressions can be done with the calculators we have, which we can drag and drop into the expression editor. In fact, Chanu, we are building something for corporations, government, public sector, where during the COVID pandemic, we had, or we are having currently a tough situation in India where, ambulance tracking, tracking of oxygen cylinders, hospital tracking, connectivity within different, institutions. All this can be easily done here. Healthcare is another area where this works very well, be it legacy applications or connecting. Currently, we are working with the IT leadership of a large healthcare provider in India, where they have taken over another organization. They've merged and are trying to see how we can build dashboards quickly, fast. How can we give a good end patient experience when somebody logs in? So this is what we're working on this side of Asia. Very, very nimble. And so far, the journey has been excellent. And yes, this also, the platform can also integrate with SAP, Oracle, Salesforce, any of the known CRM systems. It can easily integrate as long as there is the space for APIs. Integration is absolutely possible.
Oh yes, and in fact, what one of our customers really put it very well. It's a systems of engagement. So if you say, where do we start? It's a start with systems of engagement, and then we can move from there. So anywhere where you're interacting with people, it's a really good place to start.
Yes, if I wear my sales hat, this platform is so simple to deploy and to sell to, because I've got only 4 stages. One is the first call, and the second is the demonstration, and the third, perhaps if needed, maybe a short proof of concept, and where we can actually look into a pain area or a growth area of an enterprise. And the last one is handshake and deployment. Very, very quick. So it's a delight, because I come from a traditional background where I engage with the client, and we go on months trying to scope and work things out and check how many people are required. I think that's done away with the new normal. Easily done. In fact, Cheno, in the last 6 months, I've not met a single customer face to face, or rather, in last 1.5 years, I've not met a single client face to face. Let me correct myself.
Yes, and we're having quite a lot of projects going now. So.
I see in the chat, Martin is very, very busy. He's getting a lot of questions, but we can, in another 15 minutes or so, we can answer some of the most asked questions. We are happy to do that.
Sure. Yeah, maybe I think what we say is anything to do with commercials and pricing, just reach out to me or Harsh, and we will be happy to take you through, because we'll have to just walk you through how the commercials is. In terms of code, we don't have codes generated, but you have the flows, you have the chart. There was one question on versioning. So you can actually build in your version control. So for one of our big telecom customers here, we have the whole version control built in as part of the application. And that works out to be much better, so that you can move to your current version -1, -2, roll back to whichever version you want. And that is built as part of the application. And it is fairly straightforward. We recommend that you build for any of your big applications. Backups, we've taken care of it. What else? Any questions that you see? Source code backup and separate database backup. Yes, backup, the platform is backed up based on a license. So your data is backed up. So that should not be a problem. If you have a private cloud deployment, you can work out the backup the way you want. In terms of the source code, it's more the flows. So you work out on the flows, so you can actually have a copy of the flow. So that's definitely possible. Okay. I'm looking at Gutula. I want to answer some of your questions just to make sure that we are being fair to everyone. Now, where is the data stored? It depends on the license you have. If you have your private cloud or on-site deployment, it is stored in the private cloud or on-site. Otherwise, it is stored in WEM cloud, and it's either in Europe or in Asia Pacific. You also have the option, if there are some customers who want to store the data in their databases, so we can build the application and we can actually connect to your database outside of WEM. So all options are possible.
And we'd love to have one-on-one interaction in case anyone from any organization would want us to give a demo or a presentation. Happy to do that. We can come back and look at it. The thing is, 45 minutes are a blur. 45 minutes is an average time you take to start building momentum in a meeting. Now, of course, in the realm of agile and the new normal, it is fast. So hope you take questions. Yeah. Oh, you're done. Sorry.
Okay, finished.
Oh.
So there's my simplistic dashboard flowchart, and a dashboard which gives you some basic information about tickets open, no activity, how many open today, how many closed today, some graphing over the last week on tickets opened and closed, and high impact tickets, things which you really want to be focused on. So this is just the basic start of what you could do for your management in terms of a dashboard. And because, as Chano was saying, I've got start listening in here, and anytime I make a change to a ticket, it sends a message over that comment messages, that executes a flowchart that updates this whole dashboard. So that's it done. Let me go back into here. So I know we showed this before. If I can just say that here's the real some of the workflow type things. What are people doing? We have admins who manage users, companies, products, etc. Though within my application, I've also allowed call center people to add companies and add users. But in a normal situation, you would be a lot more cautious about that. The manager has a dashboard view. He would probably also have some reporting pieces, and he can assign and reassign tickets between his technical staff. And then the technical staff, call management, the real focus of the call center, and working those tickets to closure. So let me just do a quick demonstration to show you that what I've produced works. So again, as Jenno said, here's my preview button. I'm going to go into that preview. I just want to make sure I save this before I go any further. It's better. Go into my preview, I can log in as someone. So we're going to log in as a basic user of the system, one of the call center people. And it comes up and tells them, well, they've got one ticket. If they click on it, they'll open, they'll get a lot more data. There are no unassigned tickets. Unassigned tickets in the system are never good. So showing that when someone first comes in is all there. The piece that I just developed, the call manager. We look here and it comes in and says, there we go. What have we got? So let me just test one of those. It allows me to select something. So I'll select Wardell. Then immediately comes up and I'm in there 3 times. Just because I like my own name. I can then go in, click on that company, and I get a whole load of information about that. I can start adding tickets. I can look at open tickets and a whole load of other things. Yeah. So that's the basic call manager screen there that will operate from last names, company names, start with, say company. Exactly the same thing. If I reset that search, ticket ends with, well, I've only got a few in here. I can go and look at that ticket and then get into that ticket quite fast and start adding activity to it, anything I want to do. So there are multiple ways for your call center to find where they need to be with your customer up front. So if I log out of here, I go back in as a functional manager, which would be Jenno. Always put Jenno in as the manager, he likes it.
Yes. I really like that. Thank you.
Jenno's homepage looks slightly different. He gets to look at all open active tickets, and this will actually highlight when there's no activity for 7 days. He would also be able to look at those unassigned tickets and assign them. He has some management functionality, but he also has that dashboard that we talked about. So when the dashboard comes up, it starts showing you what has happened on what days, number of open tickets. I've only got 4 tickets in the system. Open tickets, none with no activity in the last 7 days because I haven't been using this for 7 days so far. I've only used it for 3 days. Tickets open today, closed today, none, etc., etc. So if I go in and start another session, and I have to use different browser to start a different session here. Because the preview is linked to a debug system. So if you don't have your debug system up, it won't let you produce a preview. So let's go back in as that CSO agent. Okay, hang on. In fact, let me do it fast. Let me go in as channel again on here, log in and bring up the dashboard. Close that down slightly, go back onto here, log out of here, go back in as that CSO1, log in and go into my call manager. So if I put these two side by side, if I do something like close the ticket, Right, so if I go in here, I'll do a new activity. Activity type, solution verification. I've spent 20 minutes working on it, so we can track time. Activity detail. Ticket. I might just closed and save. Hang on, they should have been on there. We noticed that, or we should notice, because I wasn't on here, it didn't react. Sorry, I'll do one differently.
That's okay, John. I think we get the gist that it immediately shows.
It would immediately show what had occurred. Yeah.
Yep. That's
Okay.
fair and evident. No worries.
Okay. All right. So that is the end of what I had from that point of view. Just from what other things would you do in an application like this, and on what and some information around it. I looked at possible my build times in terms of the number of hours, and it's taken me just 3 to 4 days to get this to a state where I could do this, to make sure I had my databases and everything built, and all of that is given for you down here. Some of the other things you would look at in a core management system, integration or development of an equipment contract management system. You might develop your own in WEM, or you might have to integrate to someone else's customer's ERP system. And in messaging, in application messaging chat system, so that your call center people can chat to their customers or chat to each other. Again, you can do that using Comet quite easily. Ticket escalation, flows and management, using the dates and times of which activities have happened, so that if things aren't working and things aren't happening as fast as you want to on the ticket, particularly those high impact tickets, the application could track them. And putting in something around managing your spares and your engineers would also be another good module to add into a ticketing system. Okay, so that is the end of my session. I will hand back to Cheno for any thoughts from there.
Thank you very much, John. That was brilliant. I hope the participants here, you all see the value that WEM can bring to your organization. I think this is just a teaser as to what WEM can do to your organization. The areas where we have been used a lot is digital transformation, application transformation, and we look into, of course, automation and innovation. So we will be really happy to go into more discussions with you. I know there are a lot of questions. Security is one question which we definitely want to address. It takes a little bit more time, especially when you want to go into each of the setups, and we have to go through that. Things around how do we set up the networks, the servers, the authorization, authentication, the setting up SSL, setting up the hashing, and also our own security, our API and blueprint that we actually, our blueprint is our high security module that we built, and the open web application security project. So we do have responses to all those. So we will be happy to go through those in more details. Please let myself, Harsh, or if you know any of our team members, register your interest, and we will set up a time to go through all those in more detail. Okay. We do have more questions around pipeline management and others. Yes, we have built a lot of similar applications. We don't have a ready COTS around that, but we will be releasing some of the COTS built on WEM over the next 3-4 weeks. So look out for those announcements. And there is any other question that we can quickly look into when you have 2-3 minutes. Bindu, how much time do we have so that we can take some questions?
Chino, we have 5 minutes.
Okay. Is there pricing? pricing is one thing which there have been a number of questions. We are very, very competitive when it comes to commercials. So we price in a way that we give an annual upfront fixed price so that corporations, large enterprises know how much they will spend for the year. Okay, and that is based on the feedback from the market. We have an SMB license where you can build a small application. We have a professional license where you can build a complex, business critical application. And these two licenses are on WEM Application Cloud. So the license cost covers everything you need to run your application. Then we have the enterprise licenses where you can have it in your data center, enterprise regional, or enterprise global, where you can have it in multiple geographies around the globe. So, and where you, in such cases, most of the customers provide the infrastructure or the private cloud where we can set up the platform on that. And those licenses gives you much bigger usage. But we would like to discuss that in person because we will help discover a price that you see value. And we can be really, really sure that our pricing is very, very of great value and very competitive. Harsh, anything you want to say?
Yeah. This is one place where I have my tail wagging. When we talk about pricing, we are 1/3 of our nearest competitor. You know, I mean, there have been times when we can put down this as an open challenge, 1/3 to the nearest competitor. So very, very assertive and aggressive on pricing. And the pricing is very simple. It's based on applications. So very, very easy to compute and tabulate, you know. So pricing and so, you know, this is the best you can get because we have great technology at work and also extremely competitive pricing. So thank you for this graph, Pedro. Really helpful.
Yeah, if you could talk through it, Harsh, for a couple of seconds, it would really help.
Yeah, so this is what I was emphasizing. You know, when you look at the traditional coding, we require, wherever we require 6 resources, it's not just resources as Chen was stating. You know, you require a resource for a database, you require front end, you require back end, then you require a resource for your Android, then iOS. You know, this gets multiplied. It's not only the resources, the meetings you're going to have with the resources, the documentation each resource is going to generate. Everything comes at a cost. While in WEM, this gets literally, you know, beyond being halved. It's 1/3. You know, we can do it with less resources. Someone with a BA background can lead a team, and we can have 2 or 3 youngsters along with the team lead, and we can build this fast. As you saw today, John could drag and drop and build his expression editor, create graphs, build buttons in about 45 minutes. So it's very, very fast. It complies with all the security standpoints and standards. It can integrate with all the existing APIs and databases. So, you know, this is what the advantage of WEM is.
Great. Thanks, Harsh.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. We have similar sessions lined up in the coming months. So we have our partners chipping in now for the sessions. We have one by our IORO team on the 25th and by ProDT on the 22nd of July. Do register for these events on our website. The registration links will be live post this event. See you soon at the next event.
Yeah, Bindu, 1 second. Sure. This is very interesting. You know, the upskill platform by Aerotech. I was talking to Anupam, who is the CEO. They're really enthusiastic and they can do it very, very well. So this is coming to you on the 25th of June, where they're going to build a platform for EduTech in 45 minutes flat, and they're going to integrate it and showcase and talk about it as we go ahead. Then we have ProDT. Now we've got a ProDT AI and integration, another cool topic, which is coming to you on the 22nd of July. So please do register, block your time slots now. Our partners, Aerotech, ProDT, would love to hear from you. If you have any queries, if you want something to be exhibited, great time to log in and perhaps, send a ping to them, and they will interact. So please do mention what you want to see, exclusively on the comment section. They would love to hear back from you. So it was lovely interacting with all of you. Over to you, Bindu. I think you can close.
Yes. So thank you everyone for the session. Looking forward to meeting all of you in the next one as well. Thank you. The registration links are live. You can go on our website and register for the upcoming events.
Thank you. Stay safe, all of you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.